Welcome back to Ford Hub, the channel where we bring you closer to the machines that made history, the vehicles that stood out not because of brute force or high-end luxury, but because of the stories they told and the lives they touched. Today we're going to explore one of the most iconic, charming, and unusual cars ever made, the Citroën 2CV, specifically the 1990 model, which marked one of the final years of this legend's production. This isn't just a car, it's a cultural symbol, a mechanical companion for millions, and by 1990 it had already written its place into automotive folklore. When you look at the Citroën 2CV from 1990, the first thing that strikes you is its quirky, almost cartoon-like design. This car never tried to look aggressive or luxurious. Instead, it stayed faithful to its original purpose, to be practical, affordable, and accessible. The shape remained instantly recognizable, with its rounded roofline, simple fenders, and thin wheels. The headlights, sticking out almost like the eyes of a friendly creature, gave the car a personality unlike anything else on the road. Even in 1990, when automotive design had moved toward sharper lines and more aerodynamic shapes, the 2CV looked like it belonged to a different era, and that was exactly its charm. The 1990 Citroën 2CV was still built with the same philosophy that guided its creation decades earlier. The idea was to produce a car that could carry 4 people and some luggage, drive across rough rural roads, and be simple enough for anyone to maintain. By this final stretch of its production run, the car had developed a cult following across Europe and beyond. While it was technologically outdated compared to many rivals, it was beloved for its character and its stubborn refusal to change its essence. Step inside the 1990 model, and you'd find a cabin that was basic but incredibly functional. The seats were still the hammock-style arrangements that offered surprising comfort despite their simplicity. The dashboard was minimal, with just the essentials, no unnecessary gadgets, no pretensions of luxury. Everything about the car's interior reflected utility and honesty. But it wasn't boring. In fact, it had a certain charm, a reminder that driving didn't have to be complicated to be enjoyable. The roll-back canvas roof gave passengers an open-air feel, transforming even the simplest trips into small adventures. Under the hood, the Citroën 2CV 1990 was powered by a tiny 2-cylinder engine, air-cooled, and producing modest horsepower. By modern standards, it was slow, with a top speed barely brushing past 65 miles per hour, but that wasn't the point. The car was designed to be efficient, to sip fuel, and to carry on running forever with basic maintenance. Its mechanical simplicity was one of its strongest assets. Owners could easily repair and maintain the 2CV themselves, which made it incredibly popular in rural communities and among those who valued independence from expensive service networks. One of the most distinctive features of the 2CV, still present in 1990, was its suspension system. The long travel, soft suspension was designed to handle rough farm roads and cobblestone streets, providing a ride that felt almost like floating. It leaned heavily in corners, but it soaked up bumps with ease, making it one of the most comfortable rides for its class. Citroën always emphasized practicality, and this was a car that could drive across a plowed field with a basket of eggs inside without breaking them, a true testament to its design philosophy. By 1990, the Citroën 2CV had become more than just a mode of transport. It was a symbol of freedom, of individuality, and of a simpler time. While newer cars offered more speed, more power, and more features, they lacked the personality that the 2CV exuded. This car was approachable, friendly, and utterly unique. Its charm lay in the fact that it didn't try to be like anything else. The 1990 model carried forward all these values while marking the end of an era. Production would soon cease, making these late models especially significant for collectors and enthusiasts. Owning a 1990 Citroën 2CV meant holding on to a piece of automotive history, a reminder of a time when cars could be designed with simplicity and joy as their main goals. The legacy of the Citroën 2CV is undeniable. Over the decades, it became a cultural icon, appearing in films, art, and literature, symbolizing a way of life that valued practicality and charm over luxury and speed. By 1990, even though the world had moved on to faster and more complex cars, the 2CV remained beloved. It wasn't just transportation, it was a statement, a rolling piece of history that continued to inspire affection wherever it went. Today, looking back at the 1990 Citroën 2CV, it's impossible not to feel admiration for its honesty and its place in the automotive world. It stood for accessibility, durability, and character, and it proved that a car doesn't need to be powerful or luxurious to be iconic. This has been Ford Hub, and we hope you enjoyed this journey back in time with the 1990 Citroën 2CV, a car that refused to be forgotten and continues to capture hearts even decades later. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss our deep dives into the cars that made history.